Robin and Steve. In the last episode, we sailed 1,023 nautical miles, arriving just in time to shelter from ex-tropical Cyclone Lola, so we'll pick up as the barometric pressure plummets. We had gusts of 45 knots, and just beyond our shelter, it gusted to 60 knots. Needless to say, we stayed on the boat. This is our third ex-tropical cyclone in a year, so we know the drill. Entertain ourselves in close quarters, whether it's dancing, reading, eating, or checking the weather. We were relieved to be at anchor. It would not be fun to be crossing the Tasman Sea in these conditions. Making pizza was a much better thing to be doing. It looked much yummier cooked. Once the worst of the winds had passed, Steve emptied the bathtub that was our dinghy and emptied jerry cans of rainwater into our tanks. We were to slowly make our way south. And as we moved away from Apua, the brown floodwaters were swapped out for the aqua waters that the Bay of Islands are famous for. Our boat had danced on its anchor and been tugged around for days. This anchor has held us through a few cyclones now. And now that we'd crossed seas and sat through cyclones, we could finally start enjoying Aotearoa. Rain, hail or shine. And our boat neighbours were doing the same. You may or may not remember that we had a chafed furling line, and here we swapped it out. Here on Urupukupuku Island, Steve's making an impermanent art piece, and we started to re-familiarise our legs with the ups and downs of tracts of New Zealand, alongside some pretty cute residents. Been here before, and we're happy to revisit this old Pahutakawa tree. Sheep on the beach. Very New Zealand. We left the Bay of Islands. We're slowly making our way toward the South Island of New Zealand. Sailing past the hole in the rock, Motu ko Kako, and then onwards towards Tutukaka. We're not sure if it's the time of year, but we saw more birds than we've ever seen in these waters. This time, we timed our walk at Tutukaka at low tide. Otherwise, we would have had to swim to get to the lookout. We swung by the fuel dock to top up with diesel and with water. And then we carried on south towards Whangarei and enjoyed one of our best spinnaker runs yet. In spirit, we were keen to climb these mountains, even if our legs second-guessed our spirits. After a calm morning with a little bit of hula hooping, it was time to set off on some walks. On the way to the track, we passed this fairly spectacular backyard, and then mentally prepared for a big climb to a beautiful lookout over an oil refinery. That sounds bad, but it actually was beautiful. Next day it was another walk, where someone lovely had labelled the steps at every 100 steps, which helped as the steps just kept on coming. I had thought it was 1,000 steps. Nope, it was more. But it was worth it. We set off before sunrise to Aotearoa, Great Barrier Island, passing many other pretty islands on the way. As gorgeous as these islands are, there are no great anchorages, but drifting by was pretty cool. We spotted some dolphins, but not for long. They soon hooned off. It was a little bit rough to stand on the bow, so this is some pretty rubbish footage of dolphins. Again, we're in familiar grounds, Aotea, with its many beautiful walks, which, as always, involve going up. Good luck, legs. There's Little Barrier Island, Te Hauturu o Toi, and some gorgeous old kauri trees. These trees can grow 50 metres tall and live for over 2,000 years. We accidentally ended up on a track that hadn't been used for a long time. After a few spider webs to the face, I employed this stick to clear some webs. Oh, this is sad. Steve's beloved everything shoes are sadly dying. May their souls rest in peace. I had 2 or 3 mornings perfect for silks. And for shark spotting.
Look, a shark. Shark's here.
More walks up. More stairways that kept going and going. We were in the clouds, and the clouds parted enough for us to appreciate a stunning view. Rats are clever and determined, and it takes teams of dedicated workers to keep the rat populations under control. Thank you, Men's Shed of Auckland. Last time we were here, this was absolutely gushing. Next, we took a little walk from Port Fitzroy to check out another beautiful old kauri tree. We had a nice time wandering around Glenfern Sanctuary. Here the ecosystem is being restored and protected. Conservationist and yachtsman Tony Bouzaid established the sanctuary in 1992. Good on you, Tony. Next, we left Aotea into some bumpy waters. We weren't sure what this was at first, but with the help of binoculars, we confirmed that it's a huge gannet colony. This is the common diving petrel. It can choose whether to fly or swim. Swims quite beautifully. Soon we optimistically flew our spinnaker, but not for long. We made it to Great Mercury Island, Ahuahu, in time to shelter from some bad winds that were on the way. This island has a funny mix of nice cliffs and beaches, working farms, and mega mansions with helicopters. after the big winds. We just held off a little more before setting sail towards Napier. This was all new territory for us.
Feels like what?
This was to be quite a big day of sailing, so we were very grateful to be accompanied by a big school of common dolphins. Options for shelter around here, and bad weather was on the way. On Google Maps, the visitor dock at Napier looked quite big, but in reality, we only just squeezed in. Phew! As predicted, the nasty winds did come, so we enjoyed Napier with its cafes and giant furniture. Join us next time as we leave the North Island behind us and cross the Cook Strait, somewhere along the journey getting swallowed by fog.